Hi guys, so it came to fit the SRC system to the C3 Pro a couple of days ago, and first of all, if you do have to fit one of these, the original neck roll is like this. There are two locating pegs. See if I can get that just, don't know whether you can see that or not. See if I can get it against my hand. Yeah, I think you can see that. There's a locating peg here and a locating peg at the other end. Well, there isn't on this one because I broke it, and I'll tell you why in a second. And then there is a hard plastic edging to this that is clicked into a channel that's in this black part of the helmet all the way around. So it's in like that. Now it seemed to me that you should probably try and pull it down, get the little piece of plastic out of this end piece. There's a hole in this piece and a hole in the other one, and that locating peg just goes into it. But whilst trying to pull this out, I snapped that off. I actually assumed that they were metal and that they would be in a plastic tubing all the way around, but it turns out they're just plastic. And that, of course, is completely the wrong way to remove this neck roll. All you do is grab it here and pull this piece out of the channel here, and then you can lift the whole lot out of the channel and just slip it off like that. It really couldn't be any easier. It's not the end of the world if you break this. I mean, one, it's probably not going back in the helmet ever, and two, if it does have to, then this is securely clipped in place all the way around the helmet. There's also little press studs at each end that go into the front as well, so it probably isn't a disaster. But when I came to fit the new system, I mean, it's really tricky anyway, but I spent 20-30 minutes struggling, trying to click it in and get it round, and then it would be too far up this end. And eventually Debbie wandered over and wondered what all the swearing was about, and she said, is that the right size? And I said, well, of course it is. They ordered it in especially. When I looked at it, the original neck roll is 56 to 59, and it also has a label tucked away on it, and the one that I'd been given was 60 to 65 for the extra large to XXX large helmet. So I was trying to fit something that was physically too big to go in. Of course, should have spotted that in the first place, but Debbie to the rescue. So went over there yesterday, explained the problem. They said no problem, let's ring around the stores, see if we can get the right size, and none of the stores appeared to have the correct size, which turned out to be a stroke of luck, because when the new one came in today, and I think this was ordered direct from their supplier, turns out that it is a later version. We've got I didn't see the original outer, but it's full details of what this gives you, and there are clearly some differences in what I had in the instructions for the older model. I think I said 700 meter range, but actually this now goes up to 1100 yards, so it's around a kilometre intercom range. I'll read through this in a minute. Also, the box is completely different, much nicer sort of carbon fibre look box. Contents are all pretty much the same, although the inner box on the original was damaged. It had obviously been knocked around whichever shop it came from for some time. It was probably their demo model. Also, the buttons here are different, or the function is the same, but the actual symbols on them are different to the other headset. So I'm really glad I got the wrong size, because now we've got the brand new up-to-date version. As far as fitting it goes, it is a nightmare. The way I did it was to slot the peg in one side, and that's quite a tough thing on its own, and then with fingers and some pressure try and click the plastic, because it's pretty much the same on this, although it does seem to extend further around, clicking it into the groove, and eventually working all the way around over 5-10 minutes until you get to that end here, and then I've had to try and force it round a little bit, try and prise that plastic up a little bit, and eventually I managed to get the plastic peg located. Then made all the connections for the wires. Speakers went in first, obviously, on the little velcros that I showed you the other day, so nothing different there. But the speakers on this one, as I said, were on a 3.5 mil socket. On the other ones, the speakers came straight out of the neck roll and off to the side after you'd fixed them, so that's obviously been changed. The little press studs are the same, that clicks in here and the other side. Boom here. I've also fitted the microphone from the Drift Ghost S camera into the noise guard here, and that works perfectly, as you saw if you'd watched the other video I did from the first ride out yesterday. That worked very well. In fact, I was not shouting, I'd raised my voice assuming that the microphone would probably be rubbish, but I think I could have just got away with talking normally. So yeah, I was very pleased with that. So yeah, microphone here is probably going to be a bit of a faff to get it just right and for this to shut over it, but we'll work it out, I'm sure. That is now on charge. I think it says about 4 hours for the charge. Obviously the instruction booklets have been updated with the new symbols. They were not like this on the other set. So you've got a quick start guide as before, and then a multi-language manual here. But I'm just going to read you the information that exactly what this is capable of doing. So you've got a range up to 1100 yards, which is about a kilometre. Four-way intercom in full duplex mode. You can have 1+8 incoming toggling, so that you can connect to 8 additional riders. Voice recognition for hands-free operation. Click to link, which I mentioned before. This is for spontaneous conversation with other riders nearby, and to that end I have actually stuck the smallest of the two stickers on the side of the helmet, where somebody might pull up alongside you and see that possibly. Who knows. I don't like stickers on helmets normally, but I thought if you've gone to the expense of buying this system, you might as well advertise the fact and use it. Cardo community platform for social features, device customization and software updates. Music sharing, the rider and passenger can listen to the same stereo music. Obviously the other helmet needs the system. You can make, receive and reject calls by voice command or at the push of a button. Dual hands-free profile to connect to mobile phones simultaneously. I assume that means to connect to 2 mobile phones simultaneously, although it's not the way it's been written. A2DP/AVRCP profile for wireless stereo from smartphones. Conference modes between outside caller and rider and passenger. A customizable hot dial number. Intercom to mobile. The calls switch automatically to mobile when out of range, so that's quite handy if you're chatting away to somebody, they come out, get out of range, or you have to stop for some reason, they've gone off into the distance and don't realise. This will switch to their mobile number and contact them that way. So I thought that was they're pretty clever. It says automatic, so I'm hoping that's quite a seamless feature. Receive in-the-ear navigation instructions from Bluetooth enabled GPS, and the GPS audio overrides the music, radio and intercom calls. Built-in FM radio with RDS that I mentioned before. Actually 6 presets. I believe I said it was 6 or 7, but it's actually 6 presets. Radio on time is 8 to 10 hours. The automatic radio muting for incoming calls, and this will connect wirelessly to any A2DP, AVRCP enabled MP3 player, etc. for stereo music. Apparently multilingual status announcements. Self-adjusting speaker according to speed and ambient noise. customizable AGC, which is also gain control, and what have we got? Voice control for receiving, rejecting incoming mobile or intercom calls, customizable Vox, digital signal processing for advanced audio functionality, VPM, which is volume per mode, set and save volume levels according to audio source. Well, yeah, that's probably quite handy if you're selecting your phone and that has a slightly higher volume than something else that you're using. You can plug whatever you want to use in, select it, and the audio level will be set for you from your past settings. Flexible boom microphone, obviously, up to 13 hours talk time and 1 week standby. Okay, dual high definition stereo speakers, 3.5mm connection, waterproof and dustproof with a little cross through it. So, and we have results may vary according to terrain. Windows XP as a minimum requirement. Mobile phone and GPS communications require Bluetooth enabled devices, and yeah, that's about it on the back. Obviously it's done in a few more different languages, and there's a few bits of information on the front. So yeah, so apparently there is also maybe I was thinking there was an app for this, but there isn't. There is for updating the firmware, which I already went through on the Schuberth site. It does mention about going off to the Cardo website, but that didn't do anything for me. It certainly didn't connect. It did work with the Schuberth website or whatever software I was using from them, but there didn't appear to be any updates. Anything I would say is it's a shame we haven't got the same level of light reflecting material. They've cut it right down. I can see why, because you've got the controls here, but I just wonder if they could have done that slightly differently to just increase that a little bit. But you know, minor point. Shame I broke the original. It's not going to be required though. Just going to have that on charge, and then we'll get it plugged into the laptop, see if it does recognise any update for it, and set the presets for the FM radio, which I'm sure I won't ever use, and then we'll try it out for size. Hoping to get out for a second ride this evening. It's pretty hot here at the moment, and I think we're getting near you know, people going home time, so we'll probably avoid that today and get out in the sea this evening when it cools down a little bit. So yeah, SRC system for the C3 Pro, excellent features. Hopefully it'll be as good on the road, but we'll let you know, and I'll catch you later.